Hello, I am Jane McGee Raffle, a member of the League of Women Voters of the Greater Dayton area. I am here today with candidates running for Montgomery County Treasurer. The candidates are Mohammed Al-Hamdani and John McManus. We will start our interviews by giving each candidate 1 minute to tell them about themselves and why they want to serve as Montgomery County Treasurer. Mr. Al-Hamdani?
Yes, hi, my name is Mohammed Al-Hamdani. I am a resident of Washington Township and have been a Daytonian for the majority of my life. For most of you who may know me know that I came to this country and this community as a young man at the age of 10 as a refugee from Iraq, and I have this community and this city and this county has always been welcoming and open to me and my family, and I've always looked for ways to serve our community and to serve the members of our community that are sometimes neglected and or forgotten about. The biggest reason I'm running for Montgomery County Treasurer's Office is to make sure that our county's office returns to its core value of serving our members of our community, and to help those who need it the most, especially with the current environment of high taxes on property and property taxes.
Thank you. Mr. McManus, tell us about yourself in a minute.
Of course. Thank you. Well, hello, I'm John McManus. I'm proud to be Montgomery County Treasurer, and it's been a role that I have absolutely been so blessed to have. It's an honor to serve the residents of this county. I was elected in 2020, and I have been treasurer ever since, and I'm proud to be running for re-election. Prior to my role as county treasurer, I served as a member of the Dayton Board of Education with Mohammed for 2 of those years. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of an interesting twist. You got 2 former school board members running for county treasurer. And we've done a lot of great work at the treasurer's office, a lot of things I'm really proud of. For your viewers, I'd also like to say briefly what the treasurer's office does in 13 seconds. The county treasurer serves as the county's property tax collector, chief banker, and chief investment officer. Also serves as a member of the board of directors of the Montgomery County Land Bank.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Al-Hamdani, what do you see as the most important responsibilities of the treasurer's office?
Well, look, obviously the biggest and most important duty of the treasurer's office is collecting taxes, property taxes in our community. That is the number one job. And obviously, one of the things that the office needs to do and do more of is be more open to serving our community. The number one complaint I hear from our constituents is under the current leadership, John, I'm sorry to say this, your office is just not as reachable as it used to be. Calls are that with the number and volume of calls that are coming in, and I'm sure it's difficult for the folks at the county with hiring practices these days and perhaps not having enough people. It's been harder and harder for folks to get a hold of somebody at the treasurer's office. And the number one reason people are calling, as John probably already knows, is property taxes have been increased over the last few years. And while John will say it's not his fault and he doesn't control that, he did run on lowering taxes, even though he probably properly pointed out that the county treasurer's office does not control that rate. With that said, people are still reaching out because they're frustrated and upset that their taxes have increased. The other duty is, at times people forget about it, is when folks don't pay their taxes. How do we make sure that there is a process for folks who are unable to pay their taxes? And as you know, the economic situation in our community and around the state sometimes is difficult for some folks, is to have the proper channels for folks to have some form of relief, some kind of program where they get on a payment plan. And if they don't, that we're not so hasty into putting their houses into sometimes foreclosure or lien sales, because those have created some difficulties for a lot of members in our community. And I feel like the treasurer's office can do more to elevate those issues.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. McManus, what do you see as some of the most important responsibilities of the county treasurer?
Of course. Thank you. Great question. So the county treasurer is one of those administrative positions that has certain responsibilities required by state law that must be carried out. And one of those responsibilities, perhaps the most important, as Muhammad alluded to, is the collection of property taxes. One thing that I would like to mention, Muhammad did mention about accessibility. One thing I'm really proud of, I average, we've counted up over the last 2 years, between 300 and 400 public events that either I attend personally or members of my staff out in the community. And I just don't know of another county treasurer in this county's history that has spent more time in the community than I have, and I'm really, really proud of that. In terms of delinquent taxes, and I get it, delinquent taxes are not fun, and they're very difficult, and paying property taxes is not an inexpensive venture for a lot of people. However, it is the law. And when I came into the county treasurer's office, we had nearly 30,000 properties that were tax delinquent to the tune of $250 million. That was unsustainable. And frankly, it was absurd. And I said, this cannot last. Something has to be done. And so we are on track as of the end of this year to collect over $130 million in delinquent taxes alone. Why is that important, and why is that one of my focuses? There are so many people in this community that even though they may not have a lot of resources, come hell or high water, they are going to pay their property taxes. There are people who have been playing by the rules all of their life, even though it's not fun. And so, yes, I collect property taxes. I also collect delinquent property taxes. But people are given avenues, they're given adequate warning, they're given delinquent payment plans if they have an opportunity. But it is critical, out of respect for the taxpayers, that we collect all property taxes. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. McManus, what skills and experience qualify you for the Montgomery County Treasurer's position?
Great question. Well, I have been proud to serve in government all my life. Prior to this position, again, I was elected member of the Board of Education, but I've also served in a number of government roles throughout my career in the federal, state, and local government. Wonderful positions, and I brought a lot of that experience with me to the treasurer's office. Like Muhammad, I'm also an attorney, although I'm on inactive status. Yeah. And we actually both are UD Law grads. But I think experience is the best evidence of performance, and I'm really, really proud of the things we've been able to do. Like I said, we have turned around the delinquency trends in this county, for the first time in many, many, many years, out of respect to those who pay their taxes, and out of respect the local jurisdictions who are relying on that revenue in order to serve people in our community, serve kids at schools, serve people with disabilities, through human services. But other than just property taxes, also revenue with our investment portfolio. I'm really proud. We have earned tens of millions of dollars in just 3 years. We've earned $50 million in earned interest. That's money that can be reinvested back into the community. And by the way, that also saves taxpayer money, because the more money we can earn in interest, the less has to be taken out of the general fund. So that's really important that you're earning that money. But in terms of the banking side, I'm really proud. We've had some great clean audits. All of our monies on deposit are safe and secure with our strong internal controls, and that's reflected in our state audits. And so, again, you take a look at the experience of an elected official, not just what they say they're going to do, but look at how they've done. And I think my record is incredibly strong, and I'm really proud to be going into this re-election season with that strong record. So thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Al-Hamdani, what skills and experience qualify you for the Montgomery County Treasurer's Office?
Well, thank you for your question. And as John pointed out, I think we do have some similarity in background. We were both on the Dayton School Board. I think we both at one point served as vice presidents of the school board. And after John left, I was president of the Dayton School Board. That's part of my public life. People can go look into. I helped guide and usher in a new era into Dayton Public Schools. We got out of academic penalties and helped guide the district through some of the most difficult times, especially during COVID. But I'll also bring something that John doesn't have. As John pointed out, he's always been a public servant. I do have, experience in the private sector. I'm also an investor in properties myself in Montgomery County. So not only do I own in Montgomery County, but I also invested and rent properties in Montgomery County. So I do know firsthand, and I have firsthand experience what it's like to have the taxes being levied against you and getting the bills and paying those bills on time and ensuring that, and I have a lot of experience actually communicating and working with the treasurer's office, and as Jai can attest to as a property owner. Other than that, I'm also proud of the fact that I've been an attorney and had opened my own business and ran my own business for many years. I've recently been named partner at Flanagan Lieberman and Rambo, which gives me that next level of experience of understanding and managing large budget, managing large staff. And before that, I've worked for large organizations such as CareSource and the United States Marine Corps as a contractor. So I have a lot of experience both in the public sector and the private sector that I think makes me uniquely qualified to help run the Treasurer's office.
Thank you. Mr. Al-Hamdani, what improvement might you want to make in the Treasurer's office?
Well, I think, I appreciate John saying he was, the most publicly available treasurer's office. And I do, he does do a lot of events himself. But I think what I would like to do and see happen more at the treasurer's office itself, and not just for the treasurer himself, is to have the office become more accessible to the community. Not just having events out in the community for the treasurer, but the office having potentially, more office hours. I know recently the office hours for the treasurer was reduced from, 8 to 5 to 9 to 5 or 8 to 4 or something. So there was reduction in hours. I would actually go back and expand the hours for the treasurer's office to make it more accessible. As John pointed out, collecting taxes is an important part of our job. But being available to the community is just as important. And yes, people, need to pay their taxes, but they also need to feel like, there's someone there to listen to them and help guide them through the process, especially when they fall behind on taxes. The other thing I would like to see more of is more investment. As John pointed out, he is on the board for the land bank. There's a lot of houses in our community that are dilapidated and have fallen behind. The treasurer's office, through its leadership on the land bank, can have some positive impact in our community by making sure there is more investment in bringing back housing. One of the biggest issues our communities facing today is lack of housing, and the treasurer's office can become a part of that solution by making sure that the land bank is using its power to help facilitate more government and private partnerships to ensure more housing is built around in our community. Those are just a few programs. The other one I would say is potentially having some more amnesty days for folks to where we would waive their fees if they paid their taxes on time.
Thank you. Mr. McManus, what improvement might you want to make in the Treasurer's Department?
Thank you. And Mohammed does raise a good point about the amnesty. That's actually something I looked into because, they use that at the courthouse. But unfortunately, the penalties, the 10% penalties and things like that are assessed for late payments are mandated by state law. And those cannot be, that we can't just wholesale do away with that. So, Mohammed, I agree. It's something I looked into as well, but we just can't. But also, Mohammed raises a good point. I want to expound upon that with regards to land bank. So I would like folks to look on my website and look at my annual report, and you will see that because of our historic collections and delinquent taxes, we have been able to fund the land bank at a much greater rate. The land bank gets a small portion of every delinquent tax dollar that we collect, and that increased revenue to the land bank and to the prosecutor's office, based on my delinquent tax collections, have enabled them to do more. And so with regards to the land bank, since I've been there, they've been able to tear down 350 houses alone at the land bank, dangerous and deteriorating properties all across the city of Dayton and across the county. It's something I'm really proud of. I know the land bank has a new executive director, Paul Bradley, who we hired. He's doing a phenomenal job. And for the first time ever, the land bank is entering into a new phase of actually new construction. I know Mohammed brought that up, and the land bank board recognizes that there is a housing shortage all across the state of Ohio. So that's kind of a new venture for the land bank as well. It's something I'm really proud of. But I told this to a community meeting I was at the other day. That what was interesting, I think, from the city of Dayton was, residents when they got those surveys in the mail, 82%, I think it was, said we want more demolition. And so I'm really proud of the increased collections I've been able to do on delinquent taxes that have funded more and more demolitions of blighted and dangerous properties. Thank you.
Thank you. Now in closing, we're going to give each candidate 1 minute to do a closing statement. Mr. McManus, your closing statement?
Great. Wow, that was a really fast forum. Well, it's been great to be with you. I'm so grateful to the League of Women Voters. If I haven't told you already, I want to tell your members I am a member as well. And I think that's really important that people from both political parties be supportive of the League of Women Voters. And so I'm proud to be a Republican member of the League of Women Voters. And so, again, I'm asking for your support in my reelection as Montgomery County Treasurer. We have done some incredible things. And I am so incredibly proud of the record that we have in terms of turning around a lot of trends that existed for far too long in Montgomery County. We're cleaning up the tax roll. We're sinking more money into demolitions. We're doing great things at the land bank. Our investment portfolio has soared beyond projections, as the Dayton Daily News ran about, and we're keeping your money safe. We're working hard for you. We're out in the community hundreds of times a year to make sure you can get in touch with us.
Thank you.
Honored to be your county treasurer. Thank you. And thank you, Mohammed, too, for being at this debate, and it's good to see you again.
Mr. Al-Hamdani, would you please give us your minute closing?
Sure. Thank you so much. I want to thank the League of Women Voters for hosting me and John. And John, it was a pleasure being on this forum with you as well. Reality is, I'm running to be the next Montgomery County Treasurer because change is needed in our local government to ensure more honest and open environment is had over in the county government. The other reason is, while some things have happened at the Treasurer's office, more can be done to alleviate some of the issues facing our community. With the higher tax rates coming down from the state, as John mentioned, there needs to be more done to help alleviate some of the cost pressures that have been put on our community, as well as more done to alleviate some of the housing crisis that has faced not just Dayton, but Montgomery County in general. So I appreciate this opportunity to be here with you today, and I ask for your vote as your next Montgomery County Treasurer. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you both for your participation today. Best wishes and good luck on your campaigns. The League of Women Voters encourages all candidates to run issues-oriented campaigns. Our goal is to educate the voting public and strengthen our elective process. The annual Voters Guide will be distributed the second week of October in the Dayton Daily News, AIM Media suburban newspapers, and at local libraries, schools, and businesses. Early voting for the upcoming election begins on October 8th at your Board of Elections, or you can request an absentee ballot. However you decide to vote, your opinion matters, and please vote to make our democracy work. Thank you.